ancestors knew these spirits of the gateway by the name Elegba or Ishu. In Catholicism, it is syncretized with Saint Anthony or Saint Jude. This is the spirits that we greet first before we communicate with our ancestors today.
Bust the chains and free your mentality. No longer passing down generational traumas, learned behaviors from colonizers who would watch in glee as we colonize ourselves. Destroying ourselves as we destroy our surroundings. Hoarding trash like wealth. Decorating the streets with litter. Imagine how beautiful our home could be if we loved our environment as much as we love Jesus. Bust the chains and free your reality. Unleashing ourselves from mental chains that forces us to break ourselves, subconsciously trying to fit into the approval of massa. Somehow not realizing some normals should never be normal, like the beating of bodies more vulnerable than you, whipping them into shape instead of loving them into their full capacity. Bust the chains and free yourself from limitations. Break away from what we know and grow into the greatness we can be. Wake up! Bust the chains. Free your mind. Free each other. Free yourself. Thank you.
Them say we free from shackles. Big party on how we bust the chains. But tell me, what's freedom? When we live in a system designed to mess with our brain. Trading the physical whip for debts. Locked in a modern day trap that they won't let you forget. While you think you're moving, assuming you're big and grand, but you're still a leaseholder on your own land. Look at all the masses. Look at how they just bleed. Chasing ghosts of glories, but never watering the seeds. Freedom. But are you freed, dumb? Walking in the dark, waiting for light to come? Freedom. But are you freed, dumb? Wake up the sleeping. More slaves dancing to drums. You see the ancient maps, they just track the lineage. And our relationships, they just chart the course. Fill full with power by reconnecting with the source. Why waste time begging at the gates for crumbs? Tick-tock, tick. The revolution of your mind has begun. Transition is absolute. Only forward we could move. Ancestors had a rhythm that your blood could never lose. Don't allow yourself to stand stagnant, because this is for all of we, from poverty to property. But are you really free? Freedom. But are you freed? Dumb. Walking in the darkness waiting for light to come? Freedom. But are you freed? Dumb. Wake up the sleeping. More slaves dancing to drums. The history books that I read this from was written in blood. Hurricanes try to wash away the truth with floods. You ain't tired of profiting off or lying to the youth? You ain't know that time is the revealer and that time will show the truth. What is to be shall be, and the chapters all have numbers. But we can still fill in the pages with our own stories because the ink is our hands now. Freedom! But are you freed? Dumb! Walking in darkness, waiting for light to come? Freedom! But are you freed? Dumb! Wake up the sleeping. More slaves dancing to drums. Morning and happy Emancipation Day.
We gathered today at a sacred site, the Belvedere Plantation, where once our ancestors worked sugar factories, where others worked in the main house, whose ruins we see just there, where mothers comforted each other in the dark, their children separated from their hip by circumstance and economics. This July 1st, we sit where they sat, we walk where they toiled, and our energy joins theirs as we mark Emancipation Day under the theme, Bust the Chain and Free Your blank. I know this theme may have raised some questions. The first part is straightforward. Actual chains were broken on Emancipation Day. Shackles fell from wrists and feet. Bodies that had been kidnapped and sold were by law no longer property of another human being. But then the theme continues. We don't stop at the physical chains that once bound limbs. We chose to ask a harder question. Bust the chain and free your what? It is our invitation to the people, to you, to decide what freedom, what emancipation means to you, and what it should mean to us. Will we free our minds, our voices? Will we free our vision of who we are and what we, and by extension, generations after us, are permitted to become? I ask these questions because our ancestors understood something that many struggle with today, that a person can be legally free and still be captive, that they can still be told in 1,000 quiet ways what they cannot do, cannot say, and cannot dream. All of it stemming from what those same ancestors experienced right here on these grounds. And so much of it continued and held up by many who have stood where I stand today, many who have sat in the same building I sit in every day. Audre Lorde says, master's tools will never dismantle master's house. But do we know what master's tools are? Do we know who master is? Because it's not just whips and chains that held the persons we honor today as captives. Oppression is never accomplished through physical acts alone. It requires an entire ecosystem around it, one rooted in the corruption of community, in the othering of people, in the promotion of the self over the whole. Each time we fall victim to the support systems of colonialism, each time we excuse our shortcomings and refuse to be better, each time we choose self over community, we are still building inside of Master's house. Real freedom asks us to pick up our own tools, our own stories, our own plans for what St. Martin becomes, not what any investor demands. I am my ancestors' wildest dream is a quote I have always admired, and one that I want us all to consider each and every day that we decide to actually commit ourselves to our country's healing. Notice I didn't say growth. We have grown. Some would argue way beyond what we can hold. But healing, improvement, is what we need now. And while she is not the originator of this quote, I believe Maya Angelou embodied it best when she wrote about rising, of being the dream and the hope of those who came before her. The dream they could not yet touch, but one they held within them, where no whip could reach. When imagination was the only freedom they had, we are what they imagined. It is what we have inherited. What does this inheritance, this birthright, ask of us today? It asks that we finish the work of nation building, not just the buildings, the roads, the harbor, although we need those too. It asks us to build schools that teach our children their own history first, that allow them to learn as children do, by letting them dream and dream big as our ancestors once did, right here on this land. It asks that we build an economy that is dynamic, innovative, and not reliant on the same old sea, sun, and sand, one that taps into our diaspora and helps them build a country that housed, clothed, and fed them before sending them into the world. It asks that we say no to exploitation disguised as opportunity, to invasion disguised as investment, and to forces, both foreign and domestic, that only threaten disharmony among us, locally and regionally. It demands that we build a community that is confident enough to define beauty, success, and leadership on our own terms, with our own hands. Because emancipation was never meant to be remembered as a date. It was meant to become a way of living. A choice we make every day to reject division, to reject complacency, to reject mediocrity, to reject the belief that someone else will build this country for us. Our ancestors broke chains they did not choose. The chains before us are different. They are fear, cynicism, corruption, hatred, keyboard warriors, motions of no confidence, small-mindedness, the belief that St. Martin cannot become more than it is today. Those are the chains only we can break. So today, as we honor those who came before us, let us also make a promise to those who will come after us, that we will leave them a country stronger than the one we inherited, a country that remembers where it came from, knows who it is, and refuses to let any bad actors, foreign or domestic, decide where it is going. May we honor our ancestors not only with our words today, but with the choices we make tomorrow. Because the greatest tribute we can offer them is not simply remembering their struggle, but continuing their work. So today I leave you with the same question we began with. Bust the chain and free your what? Whatever your answer is, make sure you live it each and every day. Happy Emancipation Day, St. Martin. May we continue to rise together.
Today we gather on a historic ground to commemorate Emancipation Day and to mark, as I said, 163 years since the abolition of slavery in the Dutch kingdom. We gather not only to remember a date in history, but to honor a people, actually honor our people. We honor the men, the women, and children whose lives were marked by hardship, whose freedom was denied, and whose humanity was too often disregarded. Yet, despite every attempt to break their spirit, they endured, they persevered, and they survived. And because they survived, we are here today. The story of emancipation is not merely a chapter in a history book. It is the foundation of who we are as a people. It lives in our culture, in our tradition, in our resilience, our faith, and in the determination that has carried generations of St. Martin through every challenge. As we stand here at Belvedere Plantation, one of the most significant historical sites on our island, we are reminded that history is not something distant. It surrounds us, it speaks to us, it calls upon us to remember, to learn, and to ensure that the sacrifices of our ancestors are never forgotten. This year's theme, as has many times already been said, bust the chain and free. I think it should be free your mind. Invites us to reflect not only on the chains that were broken in 1863, but also on the chains that may still exist today. The chains of inequality, the chains of prejudice and discrimination, the chains of hopelessness and division, the chains that prevent individuals from reaching their full potential, the chains that were broken in 1863 were made of iron. The chains we must break today are often invisible, but they are not less real. True emancipation is not simply about the freedom that was granted. It's about the opportunities we create ourselves. It's about ensuring that every child has access to quality education, that every family has a chance to prosper, that every citizen is treated with dignity, and that every person can contribute meaningfully to the development of our St. Martin. Our ancestors dreamed of a future they would never see. They labored, they struggled, and sacrificed so that the future generation could live with greater freedom and opportunity. The question before us today is very simple. What are we doing with the freedom they fought to secure? Are we building stronger communities? Are we lifting each other up? Are we preserving our culture and heritage? Are we creating opportunities for our youth? Are we leaving behind a better St. Martin than the one we inherited? These are the questions that an Emancipation Day asks of every generation. As Prime Minister, I firmly believe that the greatest tribute we can pay to those who came before us is to continue building a country where opportunity is not reserved for a few, but accessible to all. A country where diversity is celebrated, where inclusion is practiced, and where every person feels they belong. To our young people gathered here today, I encourage you to learn your history and take pride in your heritage. Understand that you are the descendant of resilient people who overcome extraordinary adversity. Their strength follows through you. Their courage lives within you. Their legacy is now yours to carry forward. And to all of us, let this day serve as a reminder that freedom is never passive. It requires responsibility. It requires unity. It requires a commitment to justice, respect, and compassion for one another. Today we honor the memory of those who endured slavery. We celebrate the strength of those who overcame it. And we recommit ourselves to building a future worthy of their sacrifice. Let us continue to break every chain that divides us. Let us continue to free ourselves from the barriers that limit us. And let us move forward together as we remain united in purpose, proud of our history, and confident in our future. May the spirit of emancipation continue to inspire our nation. May we never forget the lessons of our past, and may God continue to bless the people and country of St. Martin. Thank you very much, and a happy Emancipation Day.
The final speech after such beautiful renditions and such beautiful recollections of this day. #Grounded is my personal response to the call about individual reflection on this day in our history. Grounded. Not grounded on an electrical mat, as many of the advertisements today state, but grounded on this soil, on this ground. Dignitaries, family, friends, today we gather to commemorate one of the most defining moments in our history, the abolition of slavery. And today we honor those whose freedom was denied, whose dignity endured despite unimaginable hardships, and whose resilience, but whose resilience laid the foundation upon which we stand today. So many before have spoken about the fact that emancipation is more and should be viewed as more than just an event in our history. Because for St. Martin, emancipation represented the beginning of an ongoing journey, and we're still in that journey and on that journey today. It has been a journey towards opportunity, justice, self-determination, and nation building. And every generation has faced its own defining moment. Our foreparents survived slavery. Those who came after had to rebuild families, re-establish communities, and take care of livelihoods. Others fought for universal suffrage, the right to vote, and select and elect those persons to represent us. Others fought for better education, stronger institutions, and ultimately a constitutional status for our country. Each generation, every act added another stone to the foundation upon which we now stand today. So yes, in first instance, honor our ancestors. Because today, we face different challenges, and many of them. We might not wear chains, but these challenges test us nevertheless. Economic uncertainty, social division, the pressures of globalization for such a small country like ours, climate change, not to forget technology, and the responsibility of governing ourselves. All of these require courage, wisdom, and the resilience upon which we are building. Fortunately, however we look at it, resilience has always been part of who we are, time and time again, because our history teaches us perseverance, our diversity teaches us acceptance, and our smallness should teach us ingenuity. Our shared experiences teach us compassion, a compassion we should hold on to beyond the experiences. But these qualities are also what must guide us into the future. So as we do so, let us also recognize and respect the traditional Saint Martina, the families whose roots run deep in this soil. And you have realized I paused as I continue. Who preserved our heritage, our language, and customs through generations. Let us also embrace the new Saint Martina, those who have chosen this island as their home and who now should contribute to its future. Because our strength has never been found in choosing one over the other. It has always been found in building one community from many stories. And perhaps that too is a form of emancipation, the freedom to preserve our identity while welcoming others. The freedom to honor our past without becoming imprisoned by it, and the freedom to build a future worthy of those who came before us. May we continue to draw strength from our ancestors, inspiration from our past leaders, and confidence from the resilience that has carried St. Martin through every defining moment. And may future generations look back on us as the generation that used its freedom wisely. Let us begin by establishing, and this is the promise, by establishing such simple yet meaningful and defining attributes, namely our national tree to be officially established, the flamboyant tree, the July tree, the tree of freedom. Let us establish the St. Martin dialect as a language that we honor and respect. Are these promises too much to give to our ancestors? I thank you. Happy Emancipation Day.
Oh, slave! Oh, poor slave! Oh, poor slave! Happy emancipation! Happy emancipation! I've been working for a long, long time right in this island. I've been working for a long, long time right in this island. I've been working for a long, long time. The master been a hideout. I've been working for a long, long time. Master been a hideout. Oh, you sound kind of gleeful, you know. You got me vexed. I've been working for a long, long time right on this island. I've been working for a long, long time right on this island. Anarchy. I've been working for a long, long time. The buckra been a hide 'em. I've been working for a long, long time. The buckra been a hide 'em. Oh, poor slave. Oh, slave. Oh, poor slave. Happy emancipation. Walk free. Walk free. Walk free. Walk free. Walk free. rights.